my name's Christopher Jones, and I live in a little village called Nelson, which is on the outskirts of Merthyr Tydfil in South Wales. I was brought up in a little village called Flawed. I had a brilliant childhood. My father worked for the government in the atomic weapons establishment all his life. He had early redundancy because they shut the factory and made everyone redundant and moved the factory up to Aldershot.
Okay, where was that?
He worked in Cardiff, atomic weapons establishment. I was working in a company in Ystrad. I was a store person. I was unloading a wagon, and I got to the last pallet, which was right at the back of the wagon. Now, the company was supposed to supply a harness to tie around the mast, or connect the mast and tie around the base of the pallet so you could drag it out with a fork truck, but they didn't, so I had to do it manually. I did it, no problem. I'll be honest with you, I got to the end of the truck, but as soon as I stood up, I felt this almighty pain go right up my back. My hips gave way, and I fell off the back of the wagon. It took me about 15, 20 minutes, to be honest with you, screaming for help, and I puddled before someone came to help me, but they took me to the hospital. I had x-rays, and all they could see was a slight kink in my spine at the time. Since then, I had an MRI scan, and they seen that I had herniated discs at Bergstrom in Ystrad. They're a worldwide firm. They build air conditioning units for JCBs and things like that, Lotus cars.
Okay, so anyway, what happened with? Because obviously, with that sort of injury, you may be able to claim benefits or sickness benefits. So, what happened with your benefits?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I struggled for a few years trying to stay in work because, I've been brought up. My family all work. Do you know what I mean? My father's nearly 80. He's getting up 4 o'clock every morning now, going to work 7 days a week. Mostly to try and support me, to be honest with you, but I worked probably in about 6 or 7 different jobs before I went on sickness benefit because my doctor suggested that I went on it because every time I was trying to work and then getting sacked, I was getting in debt because I wasn't getting benefits for 6 weeks.
Well, tell me, why is that? Why were you getting sacked?
Because obviously I couldn't get up some mornings just because I got too many discs. I suffer, so I had to get pretty much 24/7 now. And some days I can't even move out of bed to get to the phone, to ring into work, to say, look, I can't come into work.
Well, it sounds to me like an open and shut case now that you're disabled, so you should just simply be getting the benefits for a disabled person without any real question.
Well, I have been since 1997, on and off, but it seems every 18 months to 2 years, they send you out the health assessment, you've got to go for it, you go for it, and they're purposely designed to take you off benefits. I mean, I've been reading the reports because the report they sent me for this assessment is utterly bogus because questions they claim they asked me and answers they claimed I've given, I didn't give because they didn't ask me them questions. So it's obvious to me that before you really go to the assessment, they're looking out for reasons to stop you getting your benefit. And I understand this because they get a £1,500 bonus for everyone they sign off. I don't know if that's true, but it's what I've read and what I've been told.
Well, I mean, that just sounds appalling. I mean, you're in the situation where you've been doing these assessments. What's your experience of actually, what happens when you go for one?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Each time I've gone for one, I have asked for a GP or a proven medical professional to do it because I understand it's physiotherapists that actually do it, the health assessment. And my experience of them is you've got to, they expect you to be 100% honest with them. And as soon as you are, they put you down for it. Because I've been honest and I've said, look, out of 365 days in a year, I'd say 50 of them, I'm probably all right, and I suffer 2 to 3 out of pain. Out of 10 pain. But because you say that, they mark you 2 to 3 out of 10 pain all your life. So they think you can do everything every day. But it doesn't work like that. I know for a fact now that if I was to go for a job, I'd be sacked within 3 or 4 days. And I'd be surprised if any company would insure me to work for their company because of the amount of drugs I'm on.
And what about actually getting a job with that level of being disabled?
That's another thing. They say people don't discriminate, but they do. I think a lot of the problems with people discriminating against people with illnesses these days are down to the government, because the government try and make everyone believe that it's the disabled and the sick that's draining the state. But I know for a fact that the government have wasted over £1 million worth of taxpayers' money trying to get me off this benefit since 1997, yet I earn a fraction of that in my lifetime off benefit.
So, I mean,
how can they justify spending so much money to get me off one single benefit?
Are you entitled to some sort of compensation for your injury at work?
I did receive a £4,500 compensation payment off them, but I was told by a solicitor the last time I was thrown off the ESA, who got me onto the severe disability payment, because the DWP didn't inform me of that, and he informed me that I should be on an industrial injuries payment. And when I queried about that, he explained to me that from the day I had the injury, I'm entitled to an industrial injuries payment because the company was liable for the accident. So I applied to the Industrial Injuries Board and I went for an assessment. Before I went for the assessment, they asked what happened, and they said, yeah, you do qualify, you just need to go for an assessment, and then they'll work out how much money per week you're entitled to because of your accident. So I went for the assessment, and then a couple of weeks later I had a letter back saying that I didn't qualify, as they didn't feel that the accident caused any problems with my daily living. So then I rang them up and I asked them to justify how they can pay me ESA, personal independence payment, and severe disability payment for the same reasons, but state that it doesn't affect me for my industrial injuries payment. And it's been worked out that they owe me around about £46,000 since 1997.
Tell us a bit about your daily regime, the situation, the kind of, ability to look after yourself. Because obviously, in your situation, if someone that isn't as able-bodied as most of the rest of us are, you have all sorts of different pressures on your life that other people don't.
Well, I think not that it's any sort of excuse or anything, but being a single dad has taken its toll on me, to be honest with you, because obviously when my son was young, I've had to bend down a lot bathing him and catching him when he's falling over and things like that, and I think that has taken its toll and have affected me more. These days, all I tend to do now is I don't go to bed because I can very rarely get up there, and there's no point because I don't sleep. So I stay downstairs most of the night trying to watch something on the internet or something, YouTube. And my son gets up, I take him to school, I come back, I lie on the sofa all day, face down, until I pick him up, because it's the least amount of pain I go through. This causes its own problems, because I'm not sure, I've had 2 or 3 clots in my lungs in the last 3 years. And they've said it's because of lack of exercise and that. But I've also got a muscle disorder, whereas when I use my muscles, they take a lot longer than normal to recover, and they ache for a long time. Which obviously with sciatica, the arthritis in my ankles, my wrists, I got it throughout my body, I'm just constantly in pain.
So what's your situation now? Are you getting these benefits for your disability? I mean, you obviously are disabled.
No, I haven't had no money off them now since November. I do get my personal independence payment every 4 weeks. But I don't see much of that, because obviously I've got bills going out direct debit every week, which I need to pay. They don't obviously realise that for the amount of years I've been on this benefit, I've also got commitments that I've got bills to pay. And they just cut you off straight away, and they will not talk to you about it. And an appeal, I think the last appeal took me either 10 or 18 months. I can't remember. One took me 10 months and one took me 18 months.
So are you able to get your son to school okay and do basic things like feed him, feed yourself?
No, I haven't eaten a hot meal or anything hot for 11 days. I've had to go up to school and tell the school I've got to swap schools because my son's got to go and live with his mother, because when I won custody of my son, it was part of a court order. I got to get him back and forth school every day and back and forth his mother's, because obviously she don't live by us and she don't drive. Obviously I'm not getting no money now, so I can't pay the insurance on my car. I can't get him back for school, so the school have phoned social services asking them if there's anything they can do to help, because my son is 7 years old and he's been given homework set for 12-year-olds in comprehensive schools. He's doing so good in that school, and the teacher's concerned that if he does go, it's going to affect his future, because he's doing so well and everyone loves him in the school. Do you know what I mean? He's such a polite, loving, caring boy that he gets on with everyone. And I'm fearful that it's going to affect his future, because after all, the only reason I'm here doing this is for him.
I mean, it sounds as if these decisions which are being made by the Department of Work and Pensions and the private businesses that they employ are actually really detrimental to your son and to his future.
Well, yeah. I obviously won custody of my son, because back then his mother and the boy she was with, they wasn't doing the best. But, I mean, I can't take away from them. They're brilliant now. They're brilliant parents, and they help me out a lot. And I'll be honest with you, they're the only people I got. I've been so angry at the way the DWP have treated me over the years, and the fact I haven't had a local GP for 2.5 years. Do you know what I mean? I've got to travel 30 minutes to see a GP, yet the Independent Police Complaints Commission have proved that the doctor and the health board have got no evidence to back up their claims that I threatened the doctor, which I didn't. He claims 2 weeks after I made a complaint to the health board about him, 2 weeks after I made the complaint, he claims I threatened him over the phone. There's no proof or evidence, and yet, even though there's no proof and evidence, I haven't been able to have a local GP for 2.5 years. Yet I got all these conditions, and they expect me to drive 30 minutes to go and see a GP and then get turned down meds, because the first 2 times I went there, I was turned down meds, and that put me on. I had to go look for cannabis to try and help me with my pain. I got emphysema. I've been laid down all over the board, like.
It just sounds to me as if you're becoming more and more isolated.
I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone at all. I've pushed everyone away. I don't even get on my parents no more. I mean, and it's affecting everything to do with my life, to be honest with you. I had the police here last week. They wanted to sign me into the local mental hospital because they were pretty sure I was going to do something stupid. But lucky enough, I managed to get onto the mental health crisis team, who let the police know that I have got an appointment with them, and it's in my best interest, really, that the police leave me alone, because I'm not a threat to myself. So that was a good thing that I managed to ring in. Otherwise, I'd be locked up in a mental hospital now.
How do you think it would be? What would be the simplest way to sort your situation out and make life livable again?
I think the DWP should 100% change the way they do things. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure the big people in the DWP, even though the staff who answer the phones know they're affecting people's lives in such a way that it must be affecting theirs. Because I could never go into a job knowing that I'm going to affect someone's life the way they're affecting mine, day in, day out, because that's what they're doing. There should be a policy where I can contact someone and say, look, can you please explain to me how a decision maker can overturn 3 sick notes from a GP and a personal letter explaining that I've got serious mobility issues because of my lower back problems, I've got an ALS for my emphysema, I've got pain throughout my body because of my arthritis, and I've got appointments to see all these specialists, yet they ignore it all. So there should be someone we can go to say, look, this is affecting my life. It needs sorting out today or tomorrow, not in 8 weeks or 16 months' time. Now,
I mean, it just sounds almost as if there's a kind of viciousness and cruelty to the way you're being treated. How do you cope with that?
I don't, to be honest with you. I lock myself away and I hibernate. I'm like, my son goes up to his mother's. If I got him here, and if he stays with me, the plan was, when I won custody of him, we'd have him half a week, as long as she lived by the rules, and she did, and she got brilliant, so she has him half the week. But whenever he's up there over the weekends, all I do is lie in bed with a quilt over my head. Because I'm scared to go out and go to the shop and that, because even if I go to the shop and someone looks at me wrong, or I feel everyone's judging me all the time.
I mean, it just sounds very strange when a doctor is saying one thing and the people are just trying to cut you off from benefits. What do you think they're actually trying to do?
I actually think they're trying to kill me through stress and anxiety. Because I don't know why, but I feel that they believe what the government's telling them, and they think that it's people like us who are on benefits that are draining the state. But it's not. It's the government trying to chuck us off because it costs them 10 times more money than we'll ever have in a lifetime of one benefit. for them to chuck us off, because I'm sure they've wasted over £1 million of the taxpayers' money trying to get me off a benefit where I get about 100 grand in a lifetime. Like.
I mean, it sounds almost as if they're treating you worse than an animal. You know, how does that affect your life?
It's affected me in every way, to be honest with you. I've got no confidence. I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a girlfriend in years and years and years because I can't. I don't want to drag anyone else down, do you know what I mean? I've been dragged down so much that people around me, my family, people I used to talk to on Facebook, I think they've just unfriended me because they're fed up of feeling the anguish that I'm going through, because, do you know what I mean, they're so frustrated that people are allowing me to keep going through this.
How would you like this to finish? How would you like it to sort itself out? What would you like to see happen?
I don't know if this is on air and someone that is in a position that may be able to offer some help or advice can contact you or me and try and sort it out with the DWP. I would very much appreciate if the Health Secretary of Wales, who I contacted, Vaughan Gethin, I think it is, isn't it? I was told to contact him by my AM because he understands that Vaughan Gethin is the only person that could probably contact the DWP and get him to overturn such a ridiculous decision. I sent him an email and had a response saying that he can't help me. Well,
what about your MP?
I've got an assembly member, I forget his name now, sorry, local one from Newbridge, Clyde Cymru one. He's going to help me with the appeal. But like he said, the appeal process with the DWP takes absolutely ages. So he's asked me to get confirmation from social services. They supplied me with adaptations to my house, which I've got. He's asked me to get another letter from my GP explaining that they're causing me mental health issues as well as other health issues, which he's going to be ringing me tomorrow to sort out, because obviously I'm part of a safe haven scheme. He's not a local GP. I'm only allowed to see him on a Thursday. So, do you know what I mean? I've just got to wait, and that's the problem with the DWP, and everything seems to be such a long process to be able to get anywhere. You can't overturn a decision that's wrong for months and months and months for them, and it affects your life in the meantime, and they don't care. Like,
so, have you got some sort of appeal running now?
I've got to put an appeal in. They told me, I'll be honest with you, when I rang the DWP up and I explained that I felt the assessment they gave me was a bit bogus because the questions that they've asked me, they didn't ask me, and the answers they say I give, and I didn't give. And I explained that my doctor has given me another sick note because he doesn't believe I should be taken off, and they suggested that I put a fresh claim in. So I put a fresh claim in, and that's why they're turning down the sick notes now, because they are saying that there's no new condition in the sick notes. And I'm explaining to them that they told me that if I can prove that my condition has got worse or I've got a new condition, then I can go back on the benefit. So the sick notes the doctor have given them are proving that my conditions have got worse, but they're just refusing to take them or accept them. So I don't know where to go from here, because I can't have no... there's a discretionary assistance fund you can have a loan from. Now, you can only have 3 of them in 18 months, and I've had 3 in the last 18 months, and they only have to give you £60 a time. So they expect me now, for the £180 I've had in the last 18 months, to last me until this appeal goes, and it don't, like, do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you could speak directly to whoever's in charge of the DWP or the Prime Minister or whatever, what would you say to them, Chris?
Oh, I would love to have a little sit-down meeting with them and explain what they're doing to people and explain a better way of going around it, because, I mean, I understand there's a lot of benefit sheets out there. It's very rare you'll see me using my crutches. A long time ago, I would use them, but it's caused me so many problems with arthritis in my elbows, my wrists and my ankles, because I've got to put my weight on different sides of my body when I'm getting a sciatica on different sides. When I go to these assessments, I'm 100% honest, and I tell them. I mean, there's 1 or 2 days, I mean, you might be able to see me walking out the street or kicking the ball with my son. But I'll come in an half hour later, I'm on the bed, and I can't get off for it for a good 12 or 14 hours. Do you know what I mean? Because it affects me straight away as soon as I do these things. There's better ways of going around things, and I think the government need to stop looking after themselves and looking after the people that put them in power in the first place.
Well, what they'll probably say is that you probably didn't vote for them in the first place. But also, they're trying to save money, Chris, aren't they?
Well, yeah. What reason are they trying to save money for, though? I can't understand, because their job is to help the British public. They seem to be helping themselves and other publics around the world instead of us. Everything comes out of a Tory's MP's mouth, I just think is a lie. And it's designed to, I don't know, they seem to tell us lies, make us promises, and they never ever back anything up, do they? I don't think they ever, they?
Okay.
And it's the same with most politicians these days. I got to be honest, I've spoken to quite a few, and I get on with them because I got true faith that they do want to change things, and I believe that when politicians want to be a politician, they do want to change things, but I think there's so much corruption in government these days that it's going down into businesses and everything around Britain, because everyone's fed up with the government getting away with it, so they try their best to get away with it as well, and a lot of people are getting away with it.
So what's the attitude of your doctor when he finds that the officials are just ignoring what he's saying about your condition?
He can't believe that he's trained like 14 years to get to his qualifications, and in his words, a pen pusher behind a desk ridicules it all. That's what he said. A pen pusher behind a desk says that I'm not qualified to say that you can work or not. Yet they can. That's why he wrote the letter.
Anyway, Chris, keep in touch with us and let's follow your case. So if there's any developments over the next few months, let us know, and let's hope that you get your tens of thousands of pounds that these people owe you, so you can start to do things like get insurance for your car, and take your son to school.
Tony, I'll be honest with you, mate, I don't want the 40-odd grand. If they were willing to say, look, do you know what I mean, we'll put you back in the ESA, you're never going to have the money we owe you for industrial injuries, but we'll give you the 30 or 40 quid a week from now on that you're entitled to for you, I'd be well happy with that. All I want to do is bring my son up and see my other son as much as I can, but my other son lives about 20 miles away from me, and obviously I haven't seen him since before Christmas. Because of these sanctions, I didn't even have a Christmas. I haven't had a penny off ESA since the end of November.
Okay, well, look,
they won't let me claim that, what's it called now, universal credit, because I'm fighting the case. And the last time they chucked me off, I went to sign on job seekers allowance. They wouldn't let me sign on job seekers allowance because they said I was unable to work. Because I got my hair off in a job centre saying, well, how am I going to get any money? I raised my voice, they phoned the police on me and banned me from the job centre.
Yes, well, we'll follow you over the next months, and just stay in touch, Chris, will you?
I will, and I want to thank you and your team, because I'll be honest with you, it seems to be you the only person who's listened to me, and I really appreciate it, because just someone listening can lift a depression mood out of you. Do you know what I mean? It really helps being able to talk to someone.
Well, let's just hope that the DWP start to listen too, Chris.
Yeah, I just hope that the public get wise and stop, do you know what I mean, making people like me feel too ashamed to go out, because it's a lot to do with the public as well. The public is sucked in by all these propaganda and lies the government chuck out there trying to get their own way.
You're listening to dialectradio.co.uk, your local community radio run by volunteers. Log on to our website at dialectradio.co.uk to find out more.